Hello and welcome back to ARL F2. It is absolutely fantastic to be back this week, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Yeah, it's great to be back. Sadly, I was not here last week, but I'm delighted to be back for this Japanese Grand Prix, and it's nice to see the attendance has picked up a little bit from that race. Just 1 week ago, we are here at Suzuka for a Formula 2 race. Yes, it sounds bizarre, but seems to be one that's creating a lot of mixed excitement. On paper, you know, people kind of hate Japan and its corners, especially the understeer in their sequences. You take a ride on board with Pluto as he flies through this sequence. Just the front mechanical grip is what you're looking for, and with the default setup, it's all about nailing every single input in this section. It's LMG that leads the way at the moment in this one-shot qualifying session. We'll get onto the championship very shortly, and we'll get onto last week's results as well. PFL Solberg becomes the first person to retire from this qualifying session. It's a wet sprint, I have been informed. So, yeah, that's, wow, that should make it really fun then. LMG then coming through Spoon. His driving has been 100% on this qualifying lap so far. My voice, my cold, I still going, but myself not 100%. Here he goes then. LMG into the chicane. Important to not outbrake yourself. Important not to cut. And here we go then, taking the shortest route to the line. There is no doubt he will be on pole. And that is by 0.4 of a second. Something's happened to Expilo, which means he is starting down in 12th place. Chungus and Graham and Solberg behind him. But for Expilo, 1 minute 43.9. Pluto all the way up there in P4. Seems to be a controller drift issue again for Expilo, which has not helped him out in the slightest. But here we are. Here are the one-shot qualifying results. It's LMG that has taken pole by 0.42 seconds, and he takes 4 points on top of that. Mr. Boker on the front row as well. Then it's Bennett and Pluto on row 2 for Carlin, and Goggle and FH behind those. Matty Mumu and Communist on the 4th row, and Aaron Ocon ahead of LSJ Rundle. Pips Fruity into the top 10. That's Expilo, Chungus, Graham, not setting a time, and nor did PFL Solberg. That is the grid then for this upcoming feature race. The skies are blue. The sun, the land of the rising sun, as this part of the world is known as. And we are underway here in Suzuka for the formation lap. We are green for this formation lap, and well, it's a great time to be speaking about the current championship scenario. This is 7th round of 11. Sorry, 10 this season. 11 was last season. Second round of 11. 10. Seventh round of 10. Oh my god. You can tell what a week off has done. But no excuses. F2 points then is as follows. Expilo leads the championship by 6 points over Pluto. That's 172 points for Expilo and 166 for Pluto. This is mad close at the moment, and that is one way to put it. Matty Mumu, however, is just 29 points behind his teammate Expilo in this championship. And he is what is keeping that huge Constructors or Teams Championship lead for High Tech as well. Carlin trailing by about 75 points. Matty Mumu and Aaron Ocon getting disqualified from this formation lap. So for Matty, who is still very much in this fight, he will not be tolerating bad results. Chungus and Solberg. It seems that we've forgotten how to drive a formation lap again. Let's check the everything on for you. Let's have a look at the strategy as well. FRA LMG on the softs with Boca and Bennett opting for mediums. Pluto and Gogglesaw have gone for the soft tyres. FH on the mediums. Matty has gone for softs. Everyone else on back from 8th to 15th has gone for the mediums. So we've got a great split in the top 8, but then choice is pretty clear. LMG has been disqualified. So even a ticket submitted by Matty Mumu. It'll be Boca getting us to the line and forming us up first out of everyone that's left, and Graham in the Prema will actually not be doing that last, because behind him he had Fruticos Alarm in the other Prema. So Team Scotland then for Prema, and both of those coming in as reserve drivers this weekend. We're about to get racing for the 7th round. It's race number 13 of the F2 season here in ARL. As the red lights come on now, we are about to get underway with LMG the pole sitter revving it up now. And we're underway for the Japanese Grand Prix feature race with a great getaway there from Pluto. And can he get from 4th place, maybe into the lead? He's on the inside of LMG, just backs out from it. And Boca, as is ideal of this track, can come straight around the outside and swoop around there. There's still a fight for P2. He's just backed out of that one. Bennett, very, very close there to Gogglesaw, FH and Communist side by side into the left and just edging him out there. FH now fighting with Expilo, has had a great start and he's getting up to 9th place here through Dunlop corner. And wide goes FH, and it's almost 3 wide there with Communist in on the outside. And Communist getting a great exit there off Degner 2. Can he edge out FRT FH, who's committed to the inside? Wow, it's always chaos at this corner, no matter what the series. Through to Coast Alarm with a good exit, and he's onto the gravel, and he's spun around early on in this race. Fruity is around, he gets onto that grass, tries to take avoiding action of what's going on in front of him, has got caught out there. Down he goes. LMG leading by 1.2 seconds, but there is a battle here for P5 as Matty Mumu at 130R finds himself on the Aramco sponsorships. And Expilo as well on Aaron Ocon as Aaron Ocon goes super deep. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. And in front as well, Bennett just edging out Matty once more. Can Expilo get it done? We know Aaron Ocon really tries his hardest to defend. Will use every bit of the racetrack and more. But here we go then, what a camera angle. Down in towards turn 1, we've got Matty ahead of Bennett as well. And Expilo ahead of Aaron Ocon. Every move is crucial for this man Expilo. Same with Pluto, he needs to really hold his nerve. He can take the championship lead. Again, if things go his way, something's happened. It's Fruity at the final corner. Seem to have gotten underway again. FH on Aaron Ocon. It's Aaron holding the inside. And maintains that position. Here he goes again then. This is into Spoon Curve. Can he hold the move at Spoon Curve? Yes, he can. No, with Aaron Ocon takes the switch back. FH got stuck there on that outside curb. And through goes Aaron Ocon. But again, it's not for much longer. As FH coming through on the inside. He's going to have the advantage into 130R with Aaron Ocon ideally having to back out. This is actually going to be a miraculous switchback attempt here. As Aaron Ocon finds himself alongside into the braking zone. Kicking up the grass. Oh, and as he's half spun there with Communist just keeping him in check, and Rundle being bunched up, and Graham as well. So this is going to be a big moment. Same here for P5. There's a great battle going on behind with Communist on the inside, still fighting it through turn 2. There's an awful lot of room on that inside. Forced off is Aaron Ocon. Rundle and Graham trying to go through as well, and Graham's onto the gravel. And well, there was always going to be someone there that had to take the punt. Aaron Ocon running wide with Rundle now. Can he get a move into Degner 1? He's going to have the outside line. It's surely not going to be. Oh my days. Rundle does get ahead, but at the expense of Aaron Ocon spinning around. Now deep into Degner 2. What a start by LMG. 2.3 seconds in 3 laps. Here we go then. Bennett trying to fight Matty Moomer, and here he goes then. Pulls to the inside of turn 16. And ahead he goes of Matty Moomer. Here he goes again then with the DRS. Now enabled, of course. It's the first time we've seen it used this evening. And around the outside, or Willie, as Bennett comes straight back through. Suzuka providing some excellent racing. And Rundle pushing through. Pushing the back of Communist as... Oh, he's backing him up there. Sure, not intentionally. Through the Dunlop curve, and oh, just look at this. Communist kicking up the gravel. And they go up towards turn 11, the hairpin. And LSJ Rundle is past Communist. TFL Solberg has pit. Yeah, this is surely going to be a retirement with the way he's entered. Absolutely, his feature race is over. It was over before it even started, to be honest. Expilo ahead of teammate Matty Mumu, and that must have been an error. Been caught out there on the exit of Spoon. So not ideal for Matty. He's dropped out of DRS of his teammate. He's soft, maybe struggling now. Boca on those mediums. The leading medium runner will take the lead of this race very soon. And just seems to be a lot more in control. As as we go on board with him through the opening corners, and Rundle around the outside of Communist. Can he hold it all the way around there? He's managed to stay on the track. He's got the inside for turn 2. There was a bit of barging through there as he did make contact with this side pod. Wide goes Rundle. Communist sweeps back through and back up into 9th place. On board here with Bennett, as now it's Gogglesaw leading Bennett and Expilo. Oh, wide goes Expilo. Yeah, he's certainly been saying that it's at Spoon where the controller drift is to the point where he's barely making the corner. And here comes Bennett to the inside. Medium tyres against soft. Gogglesaw has to run wide. Doesn't lose a whole lot from it, though. Bennett gets that move done fairly. Into the pits comes LMG and speeds. Oh, how costly could that be? Pluto in as well. Doesn't speed. Can Goggle get it slowed down? Yeah, miles below the limit. And Matty Moo Moo speeding as well. 2 people there taking a time penalty. Onto the mediums they all go. Really seen too much of Graham. He's come out ahead of this entire pack. He'll be the first piece of traffic. Chungus is now split Communist and LSJ Rundle. What is now 6th place would be net P10. Fruity becomes the next driver to speed, and I can only assume this is for retirement as well. Maybe not. It's very early stop on the medium tyres. He's pulled into the pit box. He's got wing damage. Fair play if he's going to continue, which is a very rare sight. Tyres go off now. Here we go. Actually, Aaron Ocon is going to be the first bit of traffic. He's passed him with ease there. FRA LMG, who has a 5-second lead over Pluto and a 5-second time penalty. But the rate he was pulling away in the first stint, should have it in the bag. But one mistake can make all the difference. Oh, here we go. Chungus on the outside of turn 16. Oh, wide again goes LSJ Rundle. That's not the first time we've seen him do that. Certainly he's having to pay the price in this current battle. Chungus now aggressively following the back of Communist MV. Oh, both kicking up some grass there. Into Degner 1 they go. On an overtaking spot this. But an absolutely fantastic sequence of corners. But here goes Chungus down the inside. This is turn 10. This is turn 11. And it's going to be the outside for this corner. It's not to be. Chungus, again, Tried the outside a lap ago. This time it's going to be the inside. He gets it slowed down excellently and will have the DRS as well to be able to defend and hold on to what is now P5. But Bennett on Expilo, we've got a side-by-side battle for P2. Bennett just stays in front. Graham is next to speed in the pit lane. Is catching a lot of drivers out. Fastest lap for LMG. Let's watch Pluto as he chases down Aaron Ocon. In the meantime, we've got a car off. Oh, it's LSJ Rundle. For a moment, I saw it was a Dams. And, well, the same section of track, that could have well been the net race leader, FR8 LMG, but I haven't clocked a single mistake from him so far. The qualifying lap, the 8 laps of racing so far, it's been absolutely fantastic from him. Pluto ahead of Aaron Ocon. Spilo in the slipstream of Bennett. It's a big lift through 130R. Fructose Alarm with the fastest lap. Into the pits comes FH. On go the soft tyres for another fastest lap for LMG. By the skin of his teeth there, just gets that back, I believe. I mean, we might as well take a look. Yeah, about 1.5 tenths. So, Fruity can't repeat the lap. Well, he spun around. I didn't even see the yellow flag in the top left. So, quite coincidental, but there's the yellow flag in this section of track. Quickly turned green, but Fruity gets out of the way. He's not having a great day. Back on board with Expilo. Again in the wheel tracks of Bennett, who sticks right to the edge of the track, looking for the best possible run there to defend himself into the braking zone of the chicane. We have another yellow flag, and I wasn't quite sure who it was. I think it was Matty. Was it? Was it FH? Fruity has now retired from the race. And leaving the session, well, certainly he doesn't fancy a wet sprint race. Communist is the 4th driver to speed into the pit lane. Mr. Boca still leading by 2.5 seconds over Bennett, who's being chased by Expilo. Chungus. Ooh, Matty Moo, what's that? What's been deployed? It's a virtual safety car. Well, I doubt these guys are going to be able to make it to the pit lane, but this would be an absolutely fantastic opportunity to come into the pit lane. Although, and I knew this, you can't serve a mandatory pit stop under the virtual safety car. Hence, it would be a fantastic opportunity, but you're not allowed to make a mandatory pit stop. I guess it's just to preserve the luck nature of it. I guess they have that way in F2. Hopefully, nobody completely misses the big reminder on the screen that says you cannot pit, but Mr. Boker gets us underway again. It's green flags anyway. They're fully allowed to pit now. That's okay. Pit now as much as you like, as that's what Mr. Boker is going to come into the pit lane and do. Bennett. Oh, Mr. Boker, who had a potential opportunity of chasing down FRA LMG, closing that 5-second gap to win the race, has completely thrown it away with a 5-second time penalty of his own. FRA LMG retakes the lead, and Pluto is flying through back up into second place with a 7-second gap to our race leader. Mr. Boker will be initially very rapid, so will Bennett. Expelo Gogglesaw has unfortunately just missed out on these two. It's going to be very hard to keep up with them. Mr. Boker should be able to get past Pluto easily, but then has to find an extra 5 seconds on top of the 4 he's currently got to gain. Again, Expelo is very, very close to the back of Bennett. He's just taking it much more cautiously through Spoon, it seems. Just trying to avoid any controller drift, sticking it miles off the track. He's got a nice run here. And they'll have the DRS for the start-finish straight. Boker shot off down the road and is already gained about a second on Pluto. Could be seeing some fastest laps incoming. And here comes Expelo. It'll be to the outside of turn 1. He needs to pull ahead before the corner, and he has done. So he has that position in the bag. That's P4 for now. Net P3 as Mr. Boker is only 2.6 up the road. Again, he needs to try and double that gap. Another yellow flag. Oh, Mr. Boker! He threw it away with a penalty. He's thrown it away by putting it off the track at Dunlop. Oh, you cannot make it up. A sigh of huge relief for Pluto. A sigh of huge relief. The likes of Expelo, who still can walk away from the feature race, heading into the sprint with the championship lead. And maybe, if he starts to pull away from Bennett and set a fastest lap on the way, preserve it just that little bit more and only have Pluto gained by a point in this race. So if he could take a fastest lap, that will bring the gap down to 5 for LMG with a 1 minute 41.7. He's set there. He's slowly been improving, but what can Expelo do as he crosses the line and does a 1 minute 41.1? So that is 2 extra points on the board as it stands for our championship leader. That 13 of 15, just 2 more tours of the circuit to go. And still more to come when we race in the wet. Just coming up in a few moments' time is the sprint race, of course, and we're not guaranteed too much action left in this feature race. We are guaranteed it if the track gets wet. Mr. Boca getting past FH. There he goes back up into P6, but it will remain P7 if he fails to pull. It's unlikely. If he fails to pull 5 seconds away from FH. Hasn't quite been on the money today, FH, but still running with a shout of 8 points here because of maybe inevitable P6 finish. Spilo has pulled out of DRS of Bennett, and you know what? I'm sure with his issues he will happily take 14 points a podium, just letting Pluto have that 1 point. Over him. 18 points for P2, 15 of course for P3, but then you've got the 2 extra for the fastest lap. So yeah, my bad. 70. Oh! They've both gone around! Bennett breaks late. And not only takes himself into a half spin, but takes Spilo into one as well. Is it going to end how it looked so certain to? I think Spilo now has to hold Bennett off. 3 tenths behind. That will for sure be going to the stewards later on this evening. Well, it's just one more overtaking spot on this circuit, that being the turn 16-17 chicane. Maybe even 130 yards a good bet. Or is it? But for FRA LMG, he's not only won this race, he has dominated it. 29 points on the board for him. And even with that 5-second time penalty, he will still win this race. What an epic drive from LMG as he now puts himself within a shot, within a sniff. Was 4th in the championship. Will almost overtake Matti Mumu. He just needs a repeat performance, going from 8th place in the sprint. LMG will move on to 141 points with championship leader Expilo on 179. There is still hope for him, and those performances are exactly what he needs. Full results then: Pluto ahead of Expilo, Bennett couldn't make the move, then it's Goggle. Boca just beat FH by the slightest of margins. I didn't actually believe he'd pull 5 seconds, but he has done it and takes home 8 points after all. And the champagne celebrations get underway. Here are the final results so far for this weekend. One race down, of course. LMG, that's 29 points, by the way, if you add on the 4 for the pole position. Pluto in second, finished 6 seconds back with the time penalty applied, but that's over a margin of 11 seconds. That win on track, and that is simply phenomenal for F2. Expilo in third, 5/10 ahead of Bennett, which this almost ended in tragedy. Moment there at turn 16 on the penultimate lap that almost sent podium comeback into tatters. And yeah. And there comes the rain. The track is soaked. I don't know what that was. Soaked. We're going to need the wet tyres. The wet tyres only, of course, for the wet compounds in Formula 2. There we are, wet tyres on. Chungus has the luxury of the pole position. We've got Thrasher in this race as well. Or is he? Is he actually in here? Yes, he is. Sorry, that was Solberg. Solberg not in. Fruity not in. So we are missing 2 drivers, but we gain 1 with GSR Thrasher. So it's great to see him here. Aaron Ocon disqualified already. "11 laps in this sprint. It will feel like a long one because of the wet conditions. We'll be close to 1 minute 55 lap times. I can assume in the opening exchanges, but certainly it will feel like a long, frightening race to watch with the outcomes that could occur. Drivers finding the limit of the grip, of course, on this formation lap. Seeing how the track conditions feel in the wet. They may not be going full speed, but tyres need to be warm. Confidence needs to be high. There's still a lot at stake. Rundle's disqualified as well. We're about to get ready. Chungus getting us underway at the front. He'll be leading the pack. how much longer? You know, you've got Mr. Boca out there on the pad, Bennett, Spilo, Pluto. I think even LMG uses pad for these F2 races, so should be a very intriguing affair as we get ready for the second race. Race number 14 of this ARL F2 season, concluding round 7. And a wet Suzuka. Well, let's let the AI cars do their thing. Oh, we're underway. It's lights out and away we go. It's initially a good getaway for Chungus, but into the lead goes Mr. Boca. And what a start that is from the Campos driver. And into turn 2 we go. FH just edging out Chungus, who ultimately has had a very poor start, dropping from first to third. It's just spray at the minute. It's basically 2x2 through here, but single file up through the rest of this section. Or will Pluto be able to overtake Goggle at Dunlop? Goggle hangs it around the outside, but wow. Aaron Ocon seems to have had a slow run through there. Expilo on Goggle saw Pluto up to 5th. Oh, everyone struggling a little bit into the hairpin, and one person that has taken advantage of that is Chungus. I'll move through there. Communist, LMG, oh no, is he off? He's not, he's kept it going, but a very, very big error has put him down to 13th, but what can he do from here? Saw Expilo get a podium from what, 12th, 13th again in the last race. There's one position gained on Aaron Ocon. Graham is next, he's got a great run on the Scott. Oh, he's kicked up some grass there, and it's another error. He's got Aaron Ocon lagging on his left-hand side. I think it's LMG lagging more himself, but he is through. LMG versus JSE Graham, the former JSE man on the... He likes to still call himself the JSE, I guess. Still JSE Graham, as we all know and love, but through he goes. LMG ahead of Rundle, but not yet Graham. It was Rundle that ran the widest of the two Dams cars. Former JSE man, Rundle as well. Good times those were. GSR Thrasher's been off in the background. All that's been going on. Oh, LMG hits the back of Graham with a tap from behind from Rundle as well. Matty's got a poor run, and both of them go through on the right hand side. There wasn't much room there, and there definitely isn't again for LMG, who's dropped again. Oh, Matty down the inside of Spoon, and he spun around. LSJ Rundle, who does manage to keep it going, had some momentum there to keep the car going, and in fact hasn't lost a whole heap of time. Still a very unfortunate incident going on there. Communist running a bit wide. Graham hops over the curb, loses the rear, not once but twice as a result. Bennett has got ahead of Chungus, who's gone from pole to P5 now with Pluto. He's now gone from P7 to P2. What a start. And Chungus getting back through for 3rd place. FH, oh my days, there's not much room there, but he squeezes through the Irishman and up into the podium positions again. That is quite commitment from him. Oh, we've got someone off. That's Graham off. And I think we've had Matty Moo off as well. And yes, Graham and Matty have been off. Thrasher has retired in the pit lane. Solberg fighting with Fruity, neither of which are in the session, so let's ignore that. Oh, Mr. Boker has run very, very wide. May be able to salvage some time on the exit, but it appears that Pluto has gained a healthy amount through there. Pluto will be chasing down the lead, and chasing down the lead of the championship as well. As wide goes Mr. Boker again. Yellow flag in sector 2, and it's Graham around for the second time on this lap. Thanks to everyone joining us. FH running deep. He's had to cut the chicane as a result, and loses traction on the exit as well. He's going to lose 2 positions from that. Will be under pressure from Bennett as well. Let's watch Expilo. He's fighting again for a podium position. Needs to do everything in his power to not run wide. Oh, and there's 2 cars coming through in the background. Bennett and FH side by side, and off the road goes Bennett. Contact there. Rundle is out in the pit lane as well. Matty Moo now back up into what will be P10 in a few seconds time, unless he can't catch the AI car, because he really is struggling for any sort of grip. LMG back up into P7. Not for long though, because Goggles inside line. Oh, results in a spin. And around goes Gogglesaw. A lot of spins. Oh! Mr. Boker's had a poor run through there, and here comes Pluto for the lead of the race. Pluto takes the lead and takes the championship lead on paper, but Mr. Boker at 130R fights back. Oh, he does just about leave a car's width there for Pluto, but... Oh! Again, Mr. Boker struggling on the throttle, and Pluto was perhaps so close to losing a chunk of his front wing. Oh, that's not the first time Mr. Boker has been wide there at turn 11. And what can Pluto do to capitalise? Certainly he's seen now a couple of times what line he's been taking through that corner. He certainly would have seen how he takes Spoon as well. Will he get a poor exit this time? No, it's relatively under control. Can Pluto make a move stick on track? He's got Chungus gaining behind. He'll have Expilo and FH as well. Super important that the reigning champion Clears Mr. Boker. No overtakes further back. At the moment, the order is remaining pretty static, but see Mr. Boker making mistakes. I nearly said Mr. Maker then. Oh my days. Mr. Poker. Is that Graham around again? Yeah. That is a reset in 4K. Spilo now the closest to be able to make an overtake here. He's had a really good first sector. Can he get a good run out of turn 9? Sector 2 as it's known as. The hairpin turn 11 after the kink of 10. That inside line proving very favourable initially. But the exit speed from taking that wider line is actually slightly beneficial. Pressure easing then from Chunkus and the chasing pack behind, so Pluto can still bide his time. Oh, around goes Graham. Almost about to be lapped. LMG with the fastest lap. An update on his race. Clear goggle sort. He's had a 6-second gap back to Communist. And into the wall! As soon as I start watching him, he's taken another setback by losing traction at turn 2. Safety car with Graham out the race. We've got a late safety car here at Suzuka, where we will probably have a 2 or 3 lap sprint to the flag. And this could be very interesting. I guess I'll paint a little bit of a live championship picture as these current points stand, including from the feature race. Pluto will have, see, a second place in the feature would have put him up to 184, and a second place is an extra 12, so 196 points for Pluto. Expelo will have it'll be up to 189 from the feature. And from this he'll take an extra 8 points, so that's 197. What has happened to Expelo? He's dropped down to 6th, which is just happened. Oh, it's been ignoring yellow flag penalties. So, is he spun? Is he been hit around? I saw a change of position, but I didn't realise it got this bad. Communist is onto the mediums. Hey? You okay? I have so many questions. Yeah, you can't do that, Aaron. Sorry. But yeah, with Expelo down to 6th, he'll be up to 183 points. As things stand. So, you know what that means? Pluto takes the championship lead. By 3 points. That's if these positions stand, of course. If Expelo makes up another position, we'll see how the penalties, if they get appealed, of course. If there was a rightful overtake there under the safety car, then yeah, Expelo got a penalty as well for ignoring yellow flags. So generally not sure, but. We should definitely be in with 2 to go. Here we go then, the tyre warming in full force, and that is because we are about to be given the notification that we can get racing at the end of this lap. Communist, 25 seconds off the back, but. Here we go. A safety car free to do its thing. And 2 more laps of racing at Suzuka. A venue I didn't think was be particularly fantastic for F2 cars, but here we are. It's had the challenges, it's had the great racing as well, and Pluto has got a time penalty for a severe collision that certainly wasn't his fault because he's left him for dust on the restart, and he's already pressuring Mr. Boca. He's tucked into the slipstream here. It's more just spray, but here comes Pluto to the outside at turn 1. Oh, it's not going to be. Or will it be a great cutback? There's just about a car's width there on the inside as Pluto trying to force his way through. The outside of turn number 3 was not really going to work, but still. Pluto can very easily get this penalty appealed. What an exit by Pluto on the exit of Degner 2. Will he be left the room? Or will he take up the opportunity to make a cutback here as Mr. Boca goes very, very deep into the corner? His exit speed isn't fantastic either. Oh, Boca goes off. Boca goes off. And, well, he's going to lose a few positions as a result. He's down to 4th place and maybe even 5th if Expelo could come through. No, he doesn't. And I think off there was FH, which is quite disappointing as he'd had a really good, yeah, he's had really good race pace in the wet. But here we are again. This time Chungus we're on board with, pressuring Pluto for a race win. See, it is very doable to get the run. Communist has retired from the race. We'll have no interruption though. Bennett holds it around the outside of Mr. Boca for the time being, but here comes Chungus in the slipstream. Could this be his time to shine as we go to the run down to turn 1? Just has to back out of it. And Bennett is ahead of Boca, who runs very wide there, as you can see there, the Campos going off, but one more opportunity really for Chungus, but we saw Pluto make it at turn 11. Could Chungus do the same thing? Pluto has kept Chungus quiet into turn 11. Into Spoon Curve. Chungus giving it absolutely everything. 4.5 tenths back. Will it be enough for a last ditch overtake here at Suzuka? All I'm going to say is this penalty is certainly removable. So for Pluto, who leads the way into the final chicane, it is going to be the championship lead once again for Pluto, who wins the Japanese Grand Prix sprint race. And although it doesn't look it for now, I can assure you he has certainly done the job. Unless, of course, there is evidence that there was a huge brake check. Which is very unlike him. That is going to be the race win for Pluto. And that is it. That is it. We'll show you the results, of course, from both races, if we can get both in. But here's the celebration. It appears to be Chungus that has taken the race win, but like I say, here we go then. These are the sprint results. First of all, obviously I'm going to show you two of them, although they look a right mess at the minute. None of this is final, and that is for sure. I'll show you down to the bottom. Expilo apparently got fastest lap, but it wasn't. It was, of course, LMG, who takes 10 points at this moment in time. Again, here are the feature race results. Just show those in case anything needs looking at again, but again, weekend points once again provisional, but yeah, that is going to be it for this round of F2. Do make sure you join us next week. Do make sure you join us for these last 3 rounds of the championship. It has been absolutely phenomenal to watch this season, and that is not going to change over 3 races. It really isn't. So make sure you join us next week for the Russian Grand Prix. Then we head to Brazil and Bahrain to round off the championship. Anything is possible, and Hope to see you next week. Goodbye.